Well, Mr. Wang will be in South Africa for a BRICS meeting of national security advisors and also for high representatives. He's taking this opportunity also to visit, as well as South Africa, to visit Nigeria and Kenya, as Beijing says it wants to show how important Africa is to China. He's also going to Turkey as well, and it's believed he's going to be talking about the Belt and Road Initiative with the Turks, about how Turkey can benefit from that and how things are progressing with existing projects. But of course, the big question is, why is he doing it? Now, Mr. Wang is technically he's the director of the Office for the Central Commission of Foreign Affairs in Beijing. He's not the foreign minister. The foreign minister is Qin Gang, and he hasn't been seen in public now for at least 3 weeks, and nobody's quite sure why. He didn't turn up last week at the Association of Southeast Asian Nations gathering in Jakarta, ASEAN, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said at the time that it was for physical reasons, that he was ill. But I have to say, nobody really seems to completely believe that. He's gone missing, nobody is sure why, and that's always when a politician goes missing in an authoritarian communist state. I can't help feeling that some people will think the worst. Andrew Wood, SABC News, Hong Kong.
Henry Kissinger, the 100-year-old former U.S. diplomat, has upstaged the U.S. climate envoy John Kerry by meeting the Chinese President Xi Jinping on a private trip to Beijing. Mr. Kerry met China's Premier and Vice President this week on his 4-day visit to restart talks on fighting global warming, but he didn't meet President Xi. Andrew Wood explains.
Well, Henry Kissinger is very well respected in China. He's remembered particularly for his role in 1971. He made a secret trip when he was Secretary for State in America. He made a secret trip to Beijing at a time when there were no diplomatic relations between Communist China and the United States. And this secret trip paved the way for 1972's visit by President Richard Nixon to China. That was quite a groundbreaking visit, and it helped China out of its isolation in the 25 years since roughly 25 years since the People's Republic of China, Communist China, had been declared. Now, Mr. Kissinger has apparently visited China about 100 times in the next 50 years since then. His trip, he said, is private this time. But a report in one Hong Kong newspaper suggests that it was actually arranged many months ago, and that the idea is that Mr. Kissinger will return to America and he will brief the American government about what he sees, how he sees China is developing. It's obviously, though, a bit of an embarrassment for John Kerry. John Kerry was in Beijing for 4 days to restart face-to-face talks with his Chinese counterpart about global warming and what America and China, how they can cooperate to fight it. Mr. Kerry saw the Premier rather, and he also saw China's Vice President, but he didn't get to see President Xi Jinping. So a bit of a snub there for John Kerry. But nevertheless, it's a sign, Mr. Kissinger's visit and also Mr. Kerry's visit is a sign that certainly China seems to be a bit more open to having discussions with America. Relations have been pretty bad over the past 6 months or so. Andrew Wood for SABC News, Hong Kong.